Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver, and we're having another low energy day, we're having another low energy night. You know, sometimes I just think to myself, it is time to just, like, turn off all of my electronics so that I can't get any sort of, like, notification or, like, anything. Let me just open the Luldle real quick, and let me just open the Bonedle real quick. This is gonna have to be one of the ones where we, honestly, I feel like I should restart my computer. I'm gonna be greedy. I'm so low energy right now. I'm gonna be greedy. I'm not gonna restart my computer. When is the new Bonedle? Next is in 1 hour? I guess we're breaking the Bonedle streak then. Like, what do you mean next is in 1 hour? I usually record a lot earlier than this, don't I? Whatever. The answer is still Lulu. Pretty crazy, right? But, I'm gonna get a little greedy here. This is the Neon Genesis Evangelion color palette, apparently. Or at least it's pretty close. I don't remember who we played recently, so I'm thinking a Yumiko run. We haven't done a Yumiko Ishimura run in a while, you know? My poor pronunciation aside. I think, you know what? Let's do a little life coach. You know, she plays ball. She needs a coach. Honestly, this is like such a good... I've been thinking about it because we talked about it a little bit on in the Discord server, which if I remember to link the correct link, you can join by clicking the link in the description. But, World of Horror really has some good fucking art, because we were talking about, like, all the merchandise and all the expensive merchandise and how the game is, like... The game is, it's look who it is, and the merchandise is just, like, the most beautiful fucking stunning thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, that watch is, like, really, really expensive. That's got a $300 watch. But that watch is fucking fire, though. Like, that is one of the coolest fucking watches I've ever seen in my life, bro. If I was a watch person, I would definitely get that. Like, I'm not even a watch person, and I'm like, if I had the extra, like, $300 to just burn, like, if I had the $300 burning a hole in my pocket, I would buy that damn watch, even though I don't like watches. Because that watch is kind of fire. But, you know, it's like, you know, World of Horror is, like, beautiful, and it has, like, a fuck ton of merchandise. And it's like, it's almost like Yizbird Games is like, yes, we need more WoW merchandise. Because even if people don't like the game, the art style is so fucking awesome that it's like, we can just make $80 billion off of the art style alone. And so there's so many, like, you know, for this one, it's like literally like a clothing company making, like, luxury World of Horror merchandise that's, like, really expensive, you know? And I'm looking at something like that, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fucking fire, honestly. But, you know, you just kind of... It's important to kind of take a step back and realize that marketing divisions and the developer are completely different people. Like, Fanstash probably gets, like, an email from Yizbird Games or, like, somebody managing World of Horror, and is like, hey, we want to do a collaboration with this, like, clothing brand. And Panstash is like, oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna make how much money from licensing? And then, you know, you just, you start balling. And that's all it is. But I am a little cooked, I'll be honest with you. I was gonna go to bed, but then I realized that I had a delivery that I had to wait for, and then I got that delivery, and then I'm like, oh crap, I should probably do the WoW, right? Because I don't want to miss technically 2 days in a row, but, like, you know, it'll all work out as far as, like, the dates might be a little off, but the spirit is there in certain time zones, probably. Alright, you're a son of a gun, and absolutely, like, not okay. Yeah, I don't really want to throw anything. So we're just gonna run away. Starting with that concussion, man. That cost us like 8 EXP and gave us +5 Doom. That's something you don't really think about very often when you're playing a Yumiko. is the fact that you kind of get cooked out of like a floor 1 ghost encounter, which isn't something that I ever think about. Is that something that you ever think about? I don't really think about it that much. Alright, is Yoggothag mad at me? Yoggothag's mad at me, but you know what? It's look who it is. Yoggothag's still mad at me. You won't cheat Yoggothag that easily? Nah, nah, nah. Nah, 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 nah. Yumiko should get a buff to the baseball event. Change my mind. I don't think you can. She plays ball. She literally plays ball. She should get a buff for it, 100%. Blood Moon, huh? Blood Moon Mystery 1 on a character who's level 1, so we're like at minus 20 fucking %. And we're gonna have to get to level 3 before things even out to what it was on level 1. That's awesome, dude. That's great. I'm a big fan of that. Jesus. Well, Household Hell time. Not a big fan of that, but... How do we get more accuracy? Well, actually, there is a way that we could get more accuracy, but you're not gonna like it. You're really not gonna like it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. What is Yumiko's, like, special thing that she gets from preparing? I don't even remember. The baseball? Well, that'll come in handy. Only one I got. But you know what'll come in handy? You already know it, chat. You already know it. Because how do we get accuracy, right? How do we get accuracy? How do we stay alive? How do we take the fact that we have, like, nothing? Oh god, this is the, that's the Discourse Yumiko event, huh? Haunting Dreams. We have to put up the Discourse shield. And the Discourse shield for me is that I'm too tired to think about anything. I'm just saying words. Which honestly is not something you want to do when you're recording. You know what I mean? But what if Yoggothag was getting furious? But what if the Salmon Life Coach was getting mad? Honestly, I'll take that. But, like, the art of, like, Yoggothag absolutely dwarfing that submarine, that's some really good, like, it's thalassophobia, right? I've been seeing some of those, like, thalassophobia animations on YouTube, and there's one of, like, the bloop fighting, like, there's one of the bloop, and then there's one of, like, I forgot its name already. But it's like this big, like, aquatic snake, but it's got this, like, massive mouth that stretches out, and it's got, like, a bunch of razor-sharp teeth and stuff. And, like, I've seen some animations with that, where it's, like, you have these two giant submarines, like, going around it, and they're just, like, the size of Tic Tacs, or, like, a grain of rice in the fucking bowl, you know? And it's absolutely, it's, like, some pretty good shit as far as the scale and, like, how gigantic it is and how much like, the only problem that I have with some of the videos is how much movement and momentum that I think those things would carry, those gigantic colossi, just because of how fucking big they are, you know? That's the only reason why the videos don't completely freak me out, just because it doesn't feel like they fully capture the scale of it just feels like they don't fully capture the scale of how those things would actually move. But some of them do. Like, there was this really cool animation that I saw that was like the bloop versus this thing, and it was like a 1v1, and they act like predatory animal, like territorial predatory animals. They're like sizing each other up, you know? They're like, it's kind of crazy. And they're just being filmed by, like, a bunch of drones, and then when they make a movement in the water, it creates, like, a shockwave that just, like, breaks some of the drones. It was sick as hell. And then I also was watching the, what is it, the Mr. Friend, the Moon Woke Up cinematic universe. And I always love stuff like that, where it's like a scary, silly one-off video that just kind of goes into like this absolutely like too intricate, crazy lore that just kind of like keeps going and going and going and going and going, and it just gets like even sillier. I think it's fun. I think it's enjoyable. But, you know, this is a complete pivot to everything, and I really hope that the computer doesn't randomly crash, because it's been on for too long and I'm playing World of Horror and recording World of Horror. I pulled the trigger on buying a game that I've had my eye on it for a while. It just had its first year anniversary. It's like a live service scavenger game, you know, like a... When I think scavenger games, I think like Escape from Tarkov. I think like, you know, something like Escape from Tarkov, right? But it really was something that I was thinking about a lot, because it's the art style is like impeccable. Like, the art style is absolutely fucking incredible. Like, I don't know how to even begin to say like how fucking good the art style is. It's called The Forever Winter, and the hook of the game is that you are not the like badass like super soldier who's like leading the war effort, right? You're just a scavenger living in the sewers beneath the fucking war zone, and you're just like Metro style, right? And you're just popping out and to literally grab shit that you need to survive and then go back down as like these fucking demigod, like grim dark, I don't want to say like cyberpunk, but there's like some it's got like this I don't want to say like futuristic Trench Crusade, because that's like, Trench Crusade is not a genre of aesthetic. I mean, I guess it is now, because it's like a miniatures agnostic game, so everybody's making their own like Trench Crusade sets. But it's like, how do I put it, man? That was incredibly lucky. I was gonna be like, all right, we're gonna get an injury here, but we've got the medical kit, so it'll be all right. But you know, it really is like, it has such an impeccable, immaculate sort of like dystopian apocalyptic future, like post-apocalypse war zone vibe that it just captures so well, and it's so good. Like, it's not the most graphically impressive looking game I've ever seen, but just like it's just so fucking well done for like what it's trying to do and what it is as far as like the graphics are concerned. It's so atmospheric, it's so moody, everything looks fucking great. It really is incredible how like neat it is. It's a little weird what we just did there, but there's also not really even a reason to do it, because the Witch's Tree costs Doom to go to, but I don't think Swift Maneuver works on the camera, but it would be funny if it did. But like, I've really been looking at the Forever Winter for a long time, but the thing is, the game is, and you know, stop me if you've heard this one before, the game is janky as hell, has a bunch of different mechanics that kind of conflict with each other. It is kind of clunky, unintuitive, even though some of its mechanics are simple. You wouldn't really know that by looking at it, because everything is like sort of shrouded in this sort of like incomprehensible nonsense, even though it's not like super complicated. It's just very unintuitive, and it's just a very like clunky mishmash with mechanics that don't really make sense for what the development team is trying to do. You know, stop me if you've heard this one before. I don't think you've ever seen or heard of a game like that, but you know, and so it's perfect. It's literally perfect. It's the next series that we do 1,000 episodes on, obviously. But I don't know, it's just like a really interesting game to me, and it just seems really cool and I want to play it. You know, I've been having a week, and so playing a clunky, weird fucking game that doesn't really function properly, maybe question mark, because it just had its like big update, you know? It just had its like big first year anniversary update, so who knows if it's a more functional game than it used to be, right? But I think one of the reasons why I think it's like a really cool thing to maybe try is that it is the kind of game where the developers, like, you know, they needed more money, and the community wanted to support them, because it's a one-time purchase, right? The game's $30, and you purchase it, and then you have it forever, and it's like it's a live service game, right? Like, it's a pseudo live service game, and so, you know, the developers needed money, and so the developers would make like a skin pack, which gives you like 3 skins, one for, there's a bunch of different scavengers that you can play, and they all have their own like archetypes and abilities that they can use. So like the first character you play, the old man, he's like a survivalist who moves at like a medium speed, and he has like better medical outcomes, like he's better with medicine items. And then like then there's like the character that I've been playing, Scav Girl. She is literally just, she uses light guns like SMGs and pistols, but what she does is she has like the fastest movement speed in the game that I've been able to see, and she's a little bit weaker, but she's faster. And so, you know, that's something that I value in like a scavenger game, is I value being able to strafe and move, even though that might be a little sketchy in this game, because the movement's kind of clunky. But they added the ability to like vault midair, so, you know, and she has like pretty good stamina compared to the other characters. But there's like, you know, Bagman, who moves really slowly, but he's got like the best heavy weapons skills. There's a robot character who is trained with every gun in the game, but cannot be healed because, you know, medicine doesn't work on a robot. And so, you know, it's just like a lot of really interesting things that you can do in that game. And, you know, it's like a fucking mess. It's a goddamn fucking mess of a game. But it's like a beautiful mess, and you can tell that the developers are like fucking passionate and cooking, but it's kind of like an awkward cook, you know what I mean? So they release, like, they need money. They release a 3 skin pack where it's like one of the, you know, 3 of the, like, what is it, 8 characters gets a skin. They get 1 skin each, and then that skin pack is like $10. And it's like, I don't think that's worth it at all. But the thing is, it's the kind of game where the community wants to support the developers because the developers are making something special. And I think so far I completely, like, am aligned with that. I think they are making something special. I've played it for, like, less than an hour, because I didn't really have a lot of time today, but honestly, it's like, I don't know if I would recommend it, but if you're like me, and you picked up World of Horror, and you're like, oh yeah, this is peak, I'm gonna play this for the next, like, 4 years of my life, then I think you could probably justify spending $30 on Forever Winter. It's just like a little random thought that I had, you know. Might be a little weird to say that out loud, but I think that, if you get me, you get me. I definitely think if you get me, you get me. God damn, okay. God, oh, damn, alright. I mean, get rid of this stupid thing, absolutely. And now we're just kind of smooth sailing, hoping that we don't die. We could die at, like, any time, but something truly evil's not that great, but I think we'll be alright. It's a stamina boss. I think we are on Timeline X, so it is a stamina boss. I'll take the Doom. Put the Doom in the bag, bro. Swing and a hit. We've been trying so desperately, by the way, to, oh. I'm gonna take the Doom. I'm gonna take the Doom. I think that's okay if Yogathag's getting furious. Maybe we'll rest if we absolutely have to. We're probably gonna have to rest. Because I don't want to run away. This is gonna do the same amount of damage. So we'll just go ahead and do that. I almost want to set your power to 0 with the baseball. And then we do like a desperation attack and kill you, but I don't even think that's possible. Because we can do 20 damage, but like that's not that good, you know what I mean? Like we can literally just do 20 damage. Maybe that is good enough though. I mean, a 95% chance. That's what we've been working for. Of course, this is kind of like hoping that we don't actually fight that we don't actually have the boss. Because if we do have the boss, that's going to be pretty awkward, but let's, hypothetically speaking, let's rest, just in case there's one more fight. And you know what? Listen to the man. He'll take you to the land that he understands, and it's like, we have the ability to lose stamina every time we lose reason, so look at that, we're all good, we're all good. Now, we can take -5 sanity from the lighthouse. Do keep that in mind, and we are not leveling up. But I think it'll work out. I think this is like a classic little Yumiko schmoove, but this run felt horrible. So I am seeing both the light source. I'm actually not seeing the heart emoji, but I am like unbelievably cooked right now. I was doing a deep dungeon with some FC members this night, and I did get to the very funny point. Oh my god, I didn't check the stat checks. I am now noticing that we are... Okay, alright. I only noticed the light source check. I didn't notice the charisma check. So I think one of the things that I need to do is I need to sacrifice some of my sanity so that I don't, like, eat shit and die here. So bear with me for a second. We're going to regain 1 stamina, because I did notice some other things that were a little bit concerning, so just go ahead and do that. That was 7 damage. That's not bad, man. That's not bad. This is gonna do 5 damage. I don't really think we're there yet. Actually, we could be. I think we can go ahead and do that. I think we're big chillin'. Now, hopefully I did read that right, but I'm looking at the fucking 7 strength, the insidious 7 strength, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a little... Oh my god, I'm so happy I was paying attention there. Oh! 22! Listen, I'm gonna hit stop recording immediately.
Oh, sorry. Suddenly, somewhere, Emmerdale...
Listen, if we lost the fucking Yumiko levels up strength and beats people to death run that ended in 22, I would be so sad forever. So anyways, it's the Luldle time, because there's no freaking Bondle, dude. I thought there was gonna be a Bondle ready. There usually is. Okay, it's, we're gonna go Leona. Let's see where that gets us. Okay. Oh, Leona's a melee, by the way. I'm kind of cringe. When was Jinx? Was Jinx? Jinx was pretty early on. We could also do, Jinx was 2013. Okay. So she's an ADC, and she's, like, really early on. So that would be Ashe, right? Not a human! Okay, that's actually a little bit stressful, because, I mean, Riot was making non-humans back in the day. But, like, A non-human ADC woman. Like, there really is only one person ever, right? Like, I just have to look at them and see, like, oh yeah, of course. Non-human is crazy. Can't be Zyra, she's definitely a support. Can't be Zeri because she's not 2009, but like, what the heck? What the heck? I feel like I'm getting, like, owned by this all the time, because they just present me with, like, a puzzle that I don't know the answer to. It's gotta be Tristana, right? Like, is Tristana 2009? I guess Tristana's 2009, I didn't know that. I guess she does have some janky animations. This is Major Tom to ground control? This has to be Corky. Like, who the fuck else would say this? Like, I've never played Corky in my life, but that has to be Corky. This looks very familiar. Is this a new Skarner thing? Is this a... I think... It's a, I think it's, like, not flipped that much. I think it's just, like, flipped over by one. And I think the little white line and the little black, little circle there, I think the left part is supposed to be what it's facing down. I feel like I've seen this before. Is this, like, Rek'Sai? Is this, like, Rek'Sai? Looks like Rek'Sai's head. Maybe this is, like, Bel'Veth Void minions or something? I'm getting, like, a Void vibe. Maybe a Darken vibe? I feel like I've seen this and it's kind of driving me crazy a little bit. Because what the heck is this? I don't think I've played a champion with this. But, like, I don't know. Maybe this is, like, Talia passive? Probably not. A lot of people guessed Talia. Is this maybe a Pantheon thing? Breaks the mold. What the heck? It's a mold breaker? Is this, like, Malphite passive? No. Breaks the mold. Is this, like, a Mel thing? How about an Ambessa thing? Kinda looks like Ambessa's gauntlets, maybe. Breaks the mold. I am very lost here. Ready to fire! It's not Corky. I feel like this is a passive, and I was already getting the idea that it was like some sort of... Is this Vi? Is this like a Vi thing? No. Breaks the mold. I don't think it's an Urgot thing. I think I would recognize it if it was. Darn, this is actually, like, kinda... I didn't think it was a Rammus thing, but I was thinking about Rammus. And so... Maybe it's Rel? I want to say this is a passive. Like, this is a passive icon right there. Also, I was wrong. It was actually flipped the other way. Okay, dancing. Sona makes people dance. Tango Evelyn is a skin. Seraphine makes people dance. I'm gonna go with Sona. Sona's the OG. Dancing Sword. Sword Dancer. Samira. Or Irelia. I get it. It's all swords. I get it, man. It's all swords. I'm kind of glad I don't... I'm actually incredibly happy that because of the subject matter, I'm incredibly glad I don't know what this is off the top of my head. I mean, part of me thinks that this could be, like... I don't think it's, Primordium Briar. I would definitely recognize it. Unfortunately. But I feel like this... Is this, like, in the same Is this in the same skin line? Is this like the Seraphine one? Like who is this? Is this the Zaya one? Is this like Battle Bat Zaya? Is this Vice City? Is this Vice City Lucian? Holy crap, I actually got that one. Demacian Vice Lucian. Huh. And there's no bundle, unfortunately, so we're just gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Have a good one. I'm gonna hopefully go to bed now. I'm very eepy.